Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to try to fix my Roland D-550. A D-550 is the module version of a Roland D-50. At one time I owned two of these modules. I sold the good one and I kept the old beat up one that I only paid $200 for, but it was working. Then one day I came in and it was dead. I incorrectly assumed that it was the display because the display goes out a lot in these units. So I ordered a cheap display for like 10 bucks. And there was all this rigmarole that you had to go through to get it to work because it's a high voltage display. And I didn't want to buy the $130 OLED display that you can get in Europe. So I was unsuccessful. I tried replacing the display and it just wouldn't work. Then I put it over there in the corner and I just left it there for about a year. Then I took another shot at it and I went through it a lot more carefully and I discovered that one of the voltage regulators wasn't working. I found one online. I had to buy 10 of them. It was like 30 bucks. They were like $3 each, but they wouldn't sell me just one. So I bought, I think, 10 of them. And then I tried to solder it in and I was unsuccessful. It just wasn't working and I was frustrated, so I put it back over there again. Today I'm going to take it out and I'm going to try to repair it. And I say try because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be unsuccessful. I just think it's problematic. The RME UFX that I fixed last week was a lot easier to work on. It was just a capacitor, it was just 2 leads, and there were good solder points to access. I remember this unit here, it's not so easy to work on. But we'll see what happens. Stick around and watch me fail, probably. Here I am in my kitchen, just like I was when I fixed the RME UFX. The D550 is open. It's been sitting open in my studio like this for 4 or 5 years. I did have the cover just kind of sitting over it so it didn't get any additional dust in it. I'm going to give it the best try I can. I really am not very confident that I'll be able to do this, but I'm going to give it a shot. I did buy a new solder sucker and this one looks like it's better quality. So I'm hoping that will help too. Let's get on with this. I want to start off with a little bit of a tip, and I think it's a tip. So if you were good enough to watch this video, I think this will be helpful. This is the transformer inside the D550. And it's a transformer that Roland seems to use on a lot of their devices, and it's made by Bando. And you can see that it has 4 different taps on it. 100 volts, 120, 220, and 240. So I know a lot of people order these devices from Japan because you can sometimes save some money, but then they use them with a power converter because US uses 120 and I think Japan uses 100. But all you need to do is go in here and move this wire here from the 100 to the 120. And if you lived in England, it would be, I think, 240. And I don't know who uses 220, but somebody probably does. And so that's a useful feature. The next thing I want to do is I want to just check the fuses. And I said you should definitely do this on your RME as well. So what I have is my multimeter set up for continuity testing. So if I touch the leads together, you can hear there's a tone. So if this fuse was blown, I wouldn't get a tone when I'm touching either side, but I'm getting a tone, so it's good. Let me move it over here. Excuse me while I move you for a second. We've got another fuse. Let's test this one. And that fuse is good too. I'm also taking a look at the capacitors in here. They all look good. Well, the little electrolytics look good too. So I'm not going to worry about them, but I need to work on that voltage regulator. This is the power supply board, and we already looked at the capacitors and they look good, but it's these 3 voltage regulators that I'm concerned about, and mostly this one in the center. And I determined that it's the minus 12 volt regulator. There's also one here that's positive 12 and another one over here which is 5 volts. So let me go ahead and flip the board over, do some soldering, and see if we can get this sucker working. Hopefully you can see on this pin of the regulator, there's a big glob of solder there, and that's because the last person that worked on this did such a really bad job on it. Hang on a minute, that was me. All right, let me see if I can just put the soldering iron on there and just steal a little bit of that solder. There we go. I think we got it. All right, so I'm using continuity again as my testing. I want to see if I correctly soldered this leg right here. And yes, it's good. So I'm touching the leg and I'm touching a point on the board that it should be connected to. Let's try the middle lead. That's good too. How about the last one? No, not working. And this is why I was unsuccessful last time. So we're going to try to fix that right now. I know there have got to be some pros just cringing at the way I'm doing this, and believe me, I know it, but I'm just going for it like this. So let's give this a shot and see if we can solder this little tiny wire in here. He's just beating up and not working for me. Okay, so I've tried a few times and I've been unsuccessful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to clean this up with some isopropyl alcohol and Q-tip here. I bought these Q-tips actually from Radio Shack. I don't know if that's going to show up or not. Back in like 1987 or something. I'm just creating a big mess here, and used to be almost competent at this, and now I'm just terrible. Got this big kind of piece of melted something on here. I have a tool for this. Let me see what this is. I'm not even sure what it is. I don't even understand why the other ones are still are actually connected, because they don't even seem like there's any solder on them. I've got flux, but I've tried it with that and it didn't help. I just want my D-550 to work. I want to go ahead and turn off the camera and give this another, well, I suppose I could give it a try with the camera on. I'll just edit out the boring parts. Maybe the whole thing is boring. Or maybe pros are just loving watching me struggle with this. I thought I'd lifted the tracing off, and it doesn't appear to be damaged. I'm looking at it here. I just can't seem to get the solder to flow onto this, and I don't know what that is I put on here. It just seems to be some melted something. All right, I cleaned off the tip of the soldering iron. Probably should have done that as the first. It just doesn't look good. This is why you don't let a keyboard player do your delicate electronics. Okay, so now we got a clean tip. I don't know if that did it or not. Okay. Okay, got continuity. come on, what is wrong with you? There's no other component before that. Not that one. So it's done. What I did is I bent the pin over and soldered it on to this point right here because that's the same tracing. It's not pretty, and I've never claimed to be very good at this, but everything seems to be okay. If I continuity test it, this pin number 3, 2, and pin number 3. So I'm going with it. It's not pretty, and I'm sorry about that, but if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then I haven't really wasted my time. It's been interesting. Let's put it back together. Okay, so there was no pops or just big noises, but this fuse here did blow. So I shorted out something, and I'm going to give up on this. I'm just done. It's beyond my ability to repair. Well, that was kind of disappointing, but you already read the title, so you knew this wasn't going to be a success. I think if I had a working power supply board, I think the device would work. I truly do. I think the display wouldn't work because I messed up the display trying to put it back in, and it's just not going to work. But I gave it the best try I could. I'm glad that last week when I was repairing my RME UFX, that was successful, and that was a lot easier product to work on. This was a lot harder for me. I've never soldered in a voltage regulator before, and this one, for some reason, was just very hard. The solder would not stick to where it should, and and that's probably my lack of experience and knowledge. But I'm going to put the cover back on this, put it under a bed, get it out of my way, and I don't know, 10 years from now, maybe I'll give it another try, but probably not. I think I'm done with it. I may buy it in software, give that a whirl or something. A lot of the sounds that are in this unit are also in the XV88, which I own, so it's not like I'm going to miss the sounds. Anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Take care, and I'll be in a happier video soon. Bye now.